briefly a few ayat from Surah Al-Rum, and maybe starting today, I'll go ahead and recite what I'm talking about after. Inshallah, it'll make more sense. Yeah. So I'll recite the same thing as yesterday. Inshallah. So it's a very interesting ayah. Surah Al-Rum was a surah that I liked a lot. So I memorized it before I got there, so to speak. Like I was memorizing it out of sequence. And you have the famous list of ayat. This is an ayah, inna fi dhalika la ayat, inna fi dhalika la ayat. You have 6, I think, list on one page. These are signs for people who reflect, for people who listen, for people who believe, and so on. And yesterday we talked about how there's, it comes full circle. 2 pages later, there's one more. Indeed, in this there are signs. And then you turn to the next page, and Allah goes back to وَمِنْ آيَاتِهِ, and one of His signs. There's one left, and this one takes a whole page. The winds, the nice winds that bring good news, and you are able to seek Allah's bounties with the winds, and the ships are able to float in the sea, or to navigate in the sea because of the winds. And one more thing I forget in the ayah. Then Allah says, we sent messengers to before you. We sent messengers to their people. Then they came to them with clear signs, and we, Allah, basically punished the ones who were criminals. And it is the duty upon Allah and the right of the believers that He should save them from the criminals. The next ayah, Allah is the one who sends the wind. And the wind brings water. And water can be sometimes pretty harsh, or it could be a heavy rain, it could be hail, And so Allah can direct it to whoever He wants. And the heavy water brings the life out of the earth. And for some time I was thinking, it's interesting that spot in the middle of those 2 relatively big ayahs talking about the wind, you have just one ayah saying, we sent messengers before you with clear signs and protected the believers. What does that have to do with the wind? The next ayah, on the next page now, وَلَئِنْ أَرْسَلْنَا, if we sent, and Allah uses the same word as أَرْسَلَ, so this is the comparison. This is what Allah is drawing a comparison. He's comparing the way He sends the wind to the way He sends messengers. And so, the next ayah, if we were to send a violent, scorching wind, this is a different word for wind. You have riyah, which is always associated with something good in the Quran, and then you have riyah, which is associated with some form of destruction. The riyah of Ad was absolute destruction. But in this ayah, a wind that is going to mess up their crops. Mustarran is going to turn the crops into yellow and they can't harvest it. If they see this kind of wind coming, they're still going to disbelieve. In other words, Allah is comparing the different types of wind with, it doesn't matter what the messenger brings, the ayat that the messenger brings. People who are inclined to not believe and not care, they're not going to believe. So, messenger, you cannot make the deaf hear. You cannot make the blind. You cannot cure the hearts of the blind. The only ones that your message will reach them is the ones who are already inclined to faith and belief. Subhanallah. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa ant. Nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk.